5.
Ngaze ngavelela yazwa. Kuzonyiwa amacala mara. Amacala wona azonyiwa. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here today, thanks so much. Make sure to click that subscribe button. But to be really honest with you guys, I don't feel like doing that intro because I am not in the best of spirits right now. And God knows, I hate my life in the public eye, or at least my private affairs in the public eye. And for anybody who wants to know where I did my hair, TT Hair Couture, you all know what it is. And I don't have any makeup on because I'm still going to film quite a few videos after this, but I just felt like this is the video that's been on my chest. I literally drove home to do this video. I needed to get it off my chest, and a makeup face beat was just not going to cut it for me right now. So I'm trying by all means to be as calm and as objective as I possibly can be. And I'm going to tell what I need to tell, as judging by the title of the video, you guys can see what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to say my piece, and then I'm never going to talk about this thing again because I just don't enjoy speaking about my private affairs, and you guys know this. If there's one thing that happens, it happens, let it die, because the thing is people love controversy. People love when they get to have an opinion on your private affairs, and I hate that thing. Okay, cool. So for a lot of you who obviously have seen the first episode of the reality show that was released by Tato, it was a reality show where a group of YouTubers went to a house for a few days in Cape Town, and we were basically supposed to just do activities for his reality show. Now, a little bit of a backstory is that him and I, we were good friends. Like, we were good friends, right? So when he obviously approached me about this idea, I said yes, as per the Looking from Jolo episode that you guys have seen me on, which ironically I had hair that was pretty much this color. So when he approached me about it, I was keen, I was happy to be a part of it, and the people that he basically had on there were people whose content I'd seen before, watched them, we get along, cool, sweet, wham bam, thank you ma'am, sharp. So there were only two people I was not familiar with, and it was the ladies from Cape Town. So it was Gamo and the other lady in question. I just forgot her name right now, so sorry. My mind is all over the place. So obviously, but everybody else was from Joburg, and then there was only Sia from Durban, right? So I knew everybody who was coming, and it seemed like a really great concept. Everything was fine, everything was great, cool. Now, then obviously things happened, and then I don't know if you guys saw my vlog where I told you guys that I ended up leaving early. And I left early because I felt very uncomfortable in that house, and the energy that I was receiving from a specific person in that house was not good, and I knew where it was going to eventually lead me towards, and that was going to be to retaliate, I get. And in Naledi, one thing about me, guys, I try by all means to protect my peace. If I can see something is just not the vibes, I'm out of there. And that's because you guys have seen and heard my story for a really long time. I have never shied away from the fact that I used to be a very, very rogue person. Like, I was very temperamental. I was someone, if I'm pissed, I'm pissed. And if I'm happy, I'm happy. And if kikwatile, kikwatile. And if I'm going to address you, I'm going to address you. Now, the problem with being that person and being on the public space is that you become privy to people making up impressions or assumptions about you. So you're better off choosing the high road and being silent, which is what I did by leaving, because I could see, no, this is not looking good, guys. This is not looking good, especially for me. Fine. So we went to Cape Town. Oh, before I even get into that, I got DMs from my subscribers. I'm getting DMs from my friends about how I'm being made to look on this particular reality show. Now, bear in mind, this is not the first time with the same person in question where I feel like in the shows that I've been on, certain things have been omitted when shooting that make me out to be a bad person. And the first time I let it slide because One, I'm not someone who's afraid of backlash, right? I say what's on my mind, and that's it on that about that. But then the second time, I was like, wait a minute. But everybody in that house knows what really happened. So why is this narrative still being pushed when in actual fact, this is not at all how it played out? So I did not watch the show. I did not watch the episode. I moved away from it completely. I was supposed to do the diary sessions, but I really was busy. And I think obviously because of the tension that was happening with me and my friend, because of what had happened in Cape Town, I had certain reservations about doing the diary session. If anything, I should have mentioned that I did not want to be a part of the project altogether. But then how were they going to edit me out? I was there for about 1-2 episodes. So that would have been an unfair thing for me to do. So I just let it ride the wave. And I told myself that eventually it'll die down. And if it's a reality show, then all facades will be shown, right? Cool. So I'm going to tell everything that happened. I'm going to tell my side, why I left, what had happened in between, the beginning, the end, and everything in between, and what led me to leave. And unfortunately, I'm no longer going to protect certain people because I feel like in this instance, I am not protected, and this is the second time. The first time with the Looking from Jolo episode where people were like, oh, why didn't Naledi say what's wrong with you besides your hair? When we did that date with the guy in question, blessing, we initially did the date, and then I don't know if there was some sort of production error, so we had to cut and we had to do a retake. And whilst we were doing a retake, he had mentioned something about having a bad hair day because they asked him like why he's wearing a cap. And he's like, yo, dude, I'm having a bad hair day. It wasn't even me who asked him that, but he was basically saying to me and the production team that he's wearing a hat because he's having a bad hair day. So when it was then played out, when I said, what's wrong with you besides your hair? Obviously, because that one part was omitted, and it makes sense, guys. I understood why it was seen like that. It looked like I was already coming for him. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I understand why that part had to be omitted. It's because it was during the cut scene where we were all sitting and talking. So now when I said that, I'm obviously taking from what he initially said. But then I let that part slide because I was like, you know what, dude, people are going to make whatever assumption that they want to make of me anyway. So it's fine. This is a show. It was for views. It was for the engagement. And obviously having someone like me on the show who's very assertive, who's very whatever, was going to make for good television, right? So cool. I was like, all right, dude, anything to help a mate out, it's fine. So think of this as the second instance where anything to help a mate. Like at the end of the day, we're all trying to build a YouTuber community and we're all trying to believe in the world of collaboration. And if there's one thing I can give to him, he does believe in helping others, and he does believe in us YouTubers being very united and collaborating. I will give that to Tato, and that's just what it is. Okay, so the issue here is essentially not him at all, but I think it's how it was dealt with that was problematic for me. We got to the airport, and this was the first thing that I had an issue with. Sorry guys, my phone was ringing. We go to Cape Town, and then the first part of the show, which should have been on, but then I don't know why it wasn't filmed, was when we landed at the airport. So now when we landed at the airport, it was me, it was CM Tanda, it was Coffee No Milk, so it was Clarissa, and it was Zil, so Zile Wizzy, right? And it was me, and it was Tato, and it was the production team. But now he was sitting with the production team having a meeting, right? And we were just chilling. Obviously, knowing me, I was just like, let me buy shots, let's chill, let's have fun. And like, we all kind of knew each other, we were familiar with each other. The only person I had met for the first time was Clarissa and Zile. So I was asking Zile at that point how to pronounce his name because I thought his name was Zilwizzy. I was reading it like Zilwizzy. And Siamtande and I both asked him, and we were making this joke, and he was like, no guys, it's Zile Wizzy. And then we had to ask him like, is it your real name, you know, things like that. But like, he was very comfortable with it, he wasn't offended by it and anything of that nature. So then we got to the house, and then they started shooting when we were sitting outside. And when we were sitting outside, that's when I think I was saying the Zile Zilwizzy again, and I think in the episode there was something about Kamo saying that I was being disrespectful towards Zile, of which could not be more untrue. But then again, judging by how everything played out, I'm really not surprised that she said that, because when we were there and we were sitting outside, because we had to go and buy stuff, so there wasn't any of the pre-recording that was showing we were buying stuff, doing things. We went to go buy liquor. I bought Habli. You guys know me, I'm always gonna buy Habli. And then Zile and Tato and all of us, we were buying snacks, we were buying alcohol, da 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 da, and then we went back to the house. And then and Siam Tanda, I think she joined us just a little bit later. No, she joined us at that time because she was in the car. So we all did that stuff, and then we came back and we sat outside. So Clarissa and Siam Tanda shared a room, and then I had my own room. I think Nawa had her own room, and then Zile and Khonse, Daddy G, had their room, and Tato had his own room, right? Then obviously Gamo and her sister approached, like, well, they came to the house a little bit after us because we were there obviously earlier. I'm just trying to remember what her name was. It's a very unique name. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for forgetting it. And I even follow her YouTube channel. Oh my god, so sorry, Miss Mamas. Okay, cool. I don't even think, like, you know. So fine, they get there, and whilst we were sitting outside, guys, I already noticed a very off energy from Gamo, right? And initially I thought she was just very laid back and chilled, but then I realized when I had mistakenly bumped her Chinese food, so some of it fell out. I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. She was like, it's fine. And I was like, okay. Even like when we were talking outside, there was like a bit of a condescending nature about speaking to her, because I was trying to get to know her, right? Oh, it's Salome. When I was speaking to Kamo, I was trying to get to know her because, you know, and Salome as well, she's got a very reserved nature, but she's so sweet. Like, she's so sweet. And I think that's why people were confused, thinking that the tension was between Salome and I, and it actually wasn't. Salome and I got along like a house on fire. Everybody obviously is meeting each other for the first time, but the one person, when I spoke to her and I felt this tone of, like, was Gamo, right? And I don't necessarily remember what we were talking about, but I did remember picking up the energy because I did tell Sia about it, and I was like, I don't know what's really happening here. And then she was like, it's probably just, you know, meeting for the first time, whatever. Because I'm very big on energy, guys. I'm one person who treats everybody exactly the same. So if I feel a difference in energy towards my energy, whether it be positive or negative, I can feel that difference, right? Like, Zile is very upbeat and loud like me, but Khonse is very laid back. But in meeting the both of them, they still had a very positive energy. It's just that it was portrayed differently by different people. Like, there was a point where Zile was irritating the crap out of me, but I let it happen because it's Zile, right? Cool. Then after that, everybody goes to their rooms, whatever. We start preparing for the games night later that night. And because I was having the conversation with Sia Khoraiman, I was sensing a very weird energy between her and Tato. And I asked her, what's going on here? You know? And I asked her because everybody could see it. It wasn't something that, it wasn't hidden. And I think this is the part where things started to really change, because everybody was like, you see? But nobody really cared at that point. It wasn't like any of our business, but she was making it very easy to spot because she wasn't hiding it, right? To a point where everybody even asked, and like, what is happening? And then the guy, Tato, was like, nothing, right? And she was like, no, nothing. Okay. So then now we go down to games night, ne? And now another issue here was also getting into a house with people and sharing stuff, especially when, like, for me, I drink spirits and the other people drink other things, right? And there was a point where I was sharing with Salome, and that was fine. And we spoke about it in the morning. No, man, hey, can we just come together and gazata and buy stuff and whatever the case may be? Like, let's all come together, because everybody was gazataring, but then they came late, so there was no need to be really, now it's time for games night, guys. We go downstairs, and I swear, guys, I did not see the looks that she was actually giving me. I was told after the evening by my friend, right? I did not see how she was looking at me. I did not see how she was responding to me, but I did hear one comment that rubbed me up the wrong way, and it's about you being older doesn't make you wiser. And also, the reason that joke came about was because I was the oldest one there. And when we were busy talking and stuff, when there's a group of people are going to talk over each other. So everyone was saying like that it is the elderly, right? Hence that comment came about, let the elderly speak, right? Because we were making a joke that I was the oldest, which I was. And then she made this very sideways comment to me, which I didn't understand where it came from, because I hadn't even said anything. And she was like, being older doesn't make you wiser. And so I retaliated thinking, man, she's just being a one. So she gave me feisty, I gave her feisty back, to a point where I even had the conversation. Tata was like, no, it's in her nature. She's naturally just a very clap backy kind of person. So when she clapped, I clapped back, because I think I asked him just before the games, but I don't remember. I could be wrong about that. I think that might have been the next day. So he was explaining to me that she's feisty, and I was like, I bet, cool. So when she came at me with that energy, I returned it with the same vigor, because I was like, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but if you want to do that, then I'm going to do that. You want to go low, I'm going to go to hell, But it ain't nothing deep. I'm just joking. Well, looking at it now, obviously, it comes across as, boo, right? And that obviously wasn't the intention, but I can understand how it's perceived that way. So it's fine. It's fine. It's okay, right? That's my L to take. And that L, I do not mind taking. However, it is then what is not shown afterwards. Okay, fine. Then we have that little buzz nyana. And I felt it, because after the games night, when the production went to bed, we all went upstairs to go smoke the hub. And then I was like, mate, are we cool? Because you said this to me, and I don't know if maybe my response rubbed you up the wrong way, but if it did, I apologize. I actually apologized to her off camera, because the same way when I say something, of course I'm going to think about it and think, man, maybe that was a bit off, right? So I was like, let me just apologize, because I even mentioned to her, I was like, I don't know, dude, the tension has been really weird between us. Is everything okay? Like, are we cool? Because I picked up the certain energy from you. Okare kautina. So is there something that's going on? Even her sister was there. Even Sia was there. So then after that, she's like, no, we're good. We're fine. I didn't take it personally, whatever the case was. So I'm like, we good. Okay, fine. The next day comes, we're going to breakfast. I think that day we were prepping for, I don't know what we were prepping for, actually. I don't remember much of what happened. And also, we were not that slizzard on the Friday night, because it was just indoors games night. We knew we were shooting, right? On the Saturday, what did we do in the morning? I don't remember. We had breakfast, we were shooting, everybody was just getting the cameras out. It was the second day to go to the wine farm. Now this is where all the other girls picked up that something is wrong with this girl in question. So now we prepare for the day. We say we're going to go to the wine farm. We're talking about it, yada, yada, yada. Everything is still fine. I'm even speaking to her, I'm reaching out to her. I'm talking to her, because now I'm like, I have to actively try and understand her, as much as she might feel like my personality is abrasive, right? A lot of people might not like me, and that's okay. But maybe I took her, reservations as like, her reserved energy as are we grand? But then when now everyone is watching, it's like she's side-eyeing you, because the thing is, noticed a couple of things that were happening, and I was like, oh word, I didn't see that, but I'm gonna overlook that. And Sia was like, I think you should, because I think it was just a high of tensions. Naledi, you are a very strong character, and maybe it just wasn't gelling with that, because I just say what's on my mind. I talk, I speak, I'm done. Sharp. So now we're planning to go to the wine farm, and as we're planning to go, the day is going well, guys. Everything's going fine. Now everybody's slowly noticing, Raiman, something isn't right with the Zan. We even spoke about it, because like I went and I spoke to Nell about it, and we were just like, and I was like, man, I think everyone was like, hi man, maybe we just haven't understood her yet. Cool. Go to the wine farm. We get there. When we get there, me, I'm like, wait again, we have a wine tasting. So with burgers, we get there, we're taking pictures, we're looking thingy. I even remember complimenting her, saying she looks nice, because she was wearing something brown. She's wearing something brown. That's what I remember. She was wearing something brown. I even remember complimenting her, saying, oh, you look nice, because she left with the guys. So she didn't leave with us, the girls. She left with Tato, Dadichi, and Zile, and then Clarissa and Sia left together, I think. Or was it just Sia? No, I think Clarissa must have left with them as well, because I left with Neo, and then Sia came later. Yeah, because she got lost in the Uber. Right. So Clarissa and Gamo and the boys left first, and then Neo and I left second, and Sia left last. Cool. Get to the wine tasting thing. We're having a good time. The wine tasting was pretty reasonable, and the wines are reasonable. So what do I decide to do? I buy an extra 3 bottles for everyone, because now we were all having the wine tasting, but it seemed like, some people are very like pinch pocket, and I was like, I just want to have a good time, but I didn't want to buy a bottle and start drinking by myself, because that would have been rude, and that's not how I was raised. That's not what I was taught. Although I get to something and enjoy it in front of them. So what did I do? I bought 3 more bottles. One, I think 2 reds and 1 white, or like 2 whites and 1 red, because the wine tasting that we had was delicious. Then whilst we were there, Gamo got into an argument with her sister, Salome. Well, they had a little bit of a, like a sibling, because I could see she was really upset. Salome was really, really upset. And I was like, dude, are you okay? And she was like, I'm fine, I'll be okay. Da, 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 da. So it's time to now leave. Ne? We all agree we're going to leave, and then we're going to go out later. Well, was it to the club or dinner? For the content, guys. So I'm like to Salome, hey girl, like you can jump in the Uber with us, like, because I really liked Salome. Like, guys, for some strange reason, I felt so drawn to Salome. Like, her energy is great. And the thing is, she has that resting bitch face, but she is so sweet. And I couldn't help but feed off that energy, because it was so nice. The rest of them, I know them. They're my mates. They're great people, okay? But we are similar. We're loud, we're bombastic, with this. Clarissa and Salome are the calm to the storm. So it was nice. It was nice just speaking to her. Finally, then she has a little bit of an argument with, she has an argument with her sister. Okay, she says something to her sister that really made her very emotional. And obviously, I don't know what it was. I don't think Salome would tell me, because she could already sense what was going on between the tension between Gamo and I. But she was really sad and upset. So then it was time to go. And I was like to Salome, hey, you can jump in the Uber with us, because it was me, now Clarissa, and Sia. Salome could jump in. And she's like, no, she's going to leave with Gamo and the boys. They got a Uber van, and then they left. Sharp. So that's when everybody started picking up on, hi, man. No, man. Because we all just stood there. And I even remember I wasn't the one who raised it up. I don't know who it was between... I don't remember who it was. But I wasn't the one to raise it up. But while we were waiting, we all kind of got to the same consensus. Horomoto is not even trying to be a part of the girl aspect of it. She was literally next to and with Tato only. And we were all just like, but if they're just mates and we're all getting to know each other as mates, why is she isolating herself, especially from Rona, the girls, And that's when the girls also started picking up on funny things, like the other girls mentioned the other things that she said to them or she did to them. And I was like, oh, word, you know? And I swear to God, no cap, guys. Y'all, one thing y'all know about me, I'm a lot of things, but I don't lie. I do not lie. To a point where, and the thing is, Sia and I were Scorpios, but we're so different. Like, we're so different. We're the same, but we're different. And if Sia and I could pick up on the same things, because I always believe Sia to be the voice of reason, because I'm the voice of chaos. I'm the voice of Sparta, you know, and she's the voice of no, bitch, relax. So when we were all talking, and the fact that we were all in consensus that something wasn't right here, and that she actively did not want to be around us, that's when I knew that what I'm feeling is not wrong. That's when I knew what I'm feeling isn't wrong. Then fine, guys, it's time for dinner. Because at no point did she leave with us. She was always with Tato. She left with Tato. She was going where Tato was going. If Tato was going to the kitchen, she was in the kitchen with Tato. If Tato was going to the swimming pool, she was in the swimming pool. If Tato could have went all the way to Eastern Cape from that day, she would have left. She would have packed the bags and left with Tato. And that for us, well, especially for me, I'm not going to speak for the rest of them actually, that for me was strange. I was just like, it was not only strange, it was inappropriate. Because we came here to shoot a reality show, but we're all here together trying to get to know each other. Something about her actions were very inappropriate, and it only gets worse from here. Cool. Fine, it's time to go to dinner. We decided to go to this other spot called Akasawa Bola. It's a spot that Salome suggested because it had Habli. And we're like, I bet, cool. So we're going to have dinner and then we're going to go to the club. Cool. It was fun. It was a good time. We get there for dinner and we go with Salome. So me, Salome, Neo, Teresa, and Sia leave in one Uber, right? And then guess what? Gamo leaves with Tato, Daddy G, and Zile. Cool. They get there. I don't remember who left first, but we got there and we all got a big table and production was there. Then me being me, y'all know me, I'm a buy Henny. So I bought Hennessy because Salome and I were already having Henny. So I was like, let me buy a bottle of Hennessy, Salome. Let's continue the same vibes because I feel best when I'm drinking Henny. Sharp. As we're sitting there, that's before they arrived, I remember, that's when we asked Salome how she's feeling, and she was just explaining, you know, the kind of person Gamo is, nothing too bad, but definitely highlighting all the concerns that we saw. And she was like, hey man, that's just the kind of person that she is, Sharp. There are certain things I'm not going to mention out of her her confidentiality thing, but she just corroborated all our concerns. Sure. Gamo gets there with Tato, sits down, and then what do? I buy shots for everyone. I buy shots for everyone, dog. And I could have been the messed up person and deliberately not buy her a shot because you don't like me. You're saying bad things about me. Well, you're not saying anything about me, but you're making it deliberately clear that you don't like me. Why should I spend my money on you? But then I'm thinking to myself, Naledi, try and be the bigger person. One, you're too old. Or something. One. And two, they do not want to get to know you. They are just happy just thinking what they think of you. I don't know what she thought of me, but I could evidently see she just didn't like me. And I really would have respected her more if she said, I'm actually just not feeling you as a person. Then I would have given her space. I would have not communicated with her. I would have not engaged with her. I would have not tried to include her. I would have distanced myself and distanced myself. That's it. I'm a big believer in forgiveness. I'm a big believer in people can try again. But if someone doesn't like you, don't waste people's time. Don't. So fine. I buy shots for everyone, and even that night I was surprised because she was speaking to me and she was reciprocating my energy. I don't know if maybe Tato had spoken to her or said something, but she was like very speaking to me, because the other days she wasn't actually speaking to me. She wasn't actually speaking to me, to be really honest with you. Now that I think about it, the only conversation I had with her was when I apologized up there, and then the evening when we had the dinner, because she actually spoke to me. She was closest to me. Yeah, she was here and I was here. Salome, Sia, Clarissa, No, I'm lying. Nell was here. It was me. Da 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 da. And then the boys, Daddy Chi and them were there. Tato was there and she was there. So it was a good evening and stuff like that. But then right after we pay the bill and we all decide how we're going to the club, the first concern for me was when the boys and Kamu, don't forget Kamu, child. So the boys and Kamu left us at the restaurant. And we were all like, aren't we all going to the same place? Why are you guys leaving us here? Like, why do you guys insist on us traveling separately? Now, the biggest concern, I think, for me was the safety. Leaving us there, I mean, it's nighttime. We don't know Cape Town. We don't know what's bound to happen. The only person who's actually safe is the person who's traveling with gents who can actually protect her. Well, now we're just girls, you know? And we were starting to feel, well, at least I was. Let me not say we, because John don't get bua, and then people will say, hi, yeah, I also was, but it wasn't that deep. And it's fine, guys. It's really fine. But I was starting to feel like, guys, we're so divided. Like, we're not doing things together anymore. Like, we're doing things, but are we now doing it for the sake of this person for his show? But then everything else, why are we being left behind? What is going on? Why are we doing this separately? What's happening? Cool. And then we go to the club. Well, not as the girls, we go to the club. We have a good night. And then that night, Nell and I got into like an argument. It wasn't anything that deep. Like, it was, for me, obviously, I can take my L and say I'm actually the one who was wrong in that situation. So we had our little misunderstanding, and I felt so bad about it. So we had a little misunderstanding, and then that was fine. And then this is where things really, really hurt me. This is when I knew this girl doesn't like me. Whilst the miscommunication was happening, Sia came in, and Sia is very emotional. But then Kamo was laughing, and I wasn't the only one who saw her. And what's worse is I was told. I saw her, right? But then I just thought maybe it's the laugh of disbelief. You know, maybe it's the laugh of disbelief. But she was genuinely cackling. And that's when I woke up in the morning, and Noah and I had our conversation about, you know, why this. We sat, we spoke, we hashed it out. She told me her concerns, I told her my concerns, and it was fine. Well, it wasn't like that fine, but obviously, you know, it was an amicable thing, wasn't it? Futak. Then after that, that's when I decided that I actually want to leave. I actually want to pack my bags and I want to leave. Oh, there was also one more thing that irked me that was really, really inappropriate. And that's when I started feeling like this was no longer a show or what's being created, is when I went down in the morning to go speak to my mates, and I found Gamo in the room. And I was like, oh, okay. I see what's happening here. Okay? First of all, we came here to shoot a show, bro. As mates, you know. Let's all respect each other in that regard. Second of all, I started to feel like, oh, is this why she's disrespecting me? Does she think, I don't know what she's thinking, but is she being able to get away with it because she has access to basically create her own narrative to my friend? What is happening, right? To a point where I wanted to have a conversation with Tato about how I felt. And I couldn't get a chance because every single time I tried to speak to him, she was there. To a point where I was like, you know what, I'll speak to him when I get to Joburg. We'll speak when I get to Johannesburg, where we can actually talk. Because now I feel like I can see what's going on here. Now it's okay, I can't get a word in edgewise. Even if I try to sit down, there's already an ear this side, and then it's me, Gam. And now, being caught in a rock and a hard place with two of your mates, I would suppose he would see it as that. Whose side are you going to take? Who's going to be wrong? Who's going to be right? Da 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 da. So you see, I understood Tato's dilemma in that instance. I understood his, like, why he was caught in the middle, in a rock and a hard place. So now I think because that's what happened, and I had to relay, because when we came back and now they were doing obviously the diary sessions, the recording, whatever, I then started to feel like, you know what, if as mates we can't call each other out, then I don't know what else to do. Because first of all, I have that relationship with him where I'm pretty sure he could call me out, I can call him out, and that's that on that about that. We're really good friends. But in that particular instance, I felt like there was a one-sided element to it, and that is why a lot of things she was getting away with, because I don't think the same message that was being relayed to me was being relayed to her. And I could be wrong on that, you know, I could be wrong on that. I could really be wrong. But now seeing episode 1 and all the things that she had said about me in the diary session, I don't think I am. And that's what happened. And that's why I left. And that's why I wasn't part of it. The diary session, I really was busy, guys. I was busy with work, and also our friendship was strained a little bit. So I was hurt by the inability to say, hey, dude, come on, you know, things like that. Don't come at this person's sideways, whatever. But then again, you're also like trying to understand that this person is caught in the middle, so he doesn't know what to do. But then again, you can be impartial and still be able to call out two people when they are not cool. Because I know when to take my L. I know when I'm being annoying. I know when I'm being irritating. I have never sat here and not been accountable for being wrong in any of my friendships. And that's just the truth. I've never sat here and not been accountable. I've never sat here and said, but it's not me. You know, if it's me, guys. If it's me, I've also got my horrid tendencies. I've also got my flaws. But at the end of the day, and at the end of the day, I know how I can contribute to a situation being in a negative way. Well, understand? So I think that's why I was trying to understand. But then when the episode came out, and yes, they did reach out asking me to watch the episode, and I didn't, just for my own personal, I don't know, peace of mind. I was very hurt about what happened. I was very hurt about the way things played out. In that moment, I felt like, as much as there was supposed to be peace, there was supposed to be some constructive criticism here to say, okay, if you don't want to be here, and if you don't want to be with other YouTubers, then why are you here? Why did you come to the house? Why did you come here if you had no intention of building a relationship with other people? It's almost like you came here because you came for one person and one person only, and that person happens to be the person you call your friend. And obviously moving forward, I think more than anything I'm hurt. And I see now, this is not the first time that I was made to look like a bad person on reality, even when it's scripted. And now that this is happening again, and nobody picked up on the fact that maybe this isn't right. Maybe this is not gonna, maybe this won't make Wanaba happy, because I don't know what I did to deserve that. Sitting now like this, I can tell you right now, I don't know what I did to deserve that energy from the lady in question. The other guys, those are my mates, dog. We can always talk that shit out, And the only other person that me and we were having our little argument, fella, and like genuine. And the nice thing I like is that we can sit down, we can talk, we can come to a point of understanding. I love that, and I want that in friendships. Do you understand? But I'm still sitting here not understanding why she doesn't like me. But now I've gotten to a point where I understand that but what I am most hurt about is this episode kind of was designed to question my character, my integrity, me being the bad guy in all of this. And that is what hurts me. It is not the show, it is not what is being said, it is the way it's being positioned. And everybody else has tried to remain very neutral and impartial to the situation. But now the focus is on making enemies, day one, da 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 da. And that part hurts me. And there you have it, guys. I've said my piece. I've told you my diary session. And I don't want anybody to be in the dark anymore about what happened and why it's happening in the way that it's happening. But I'm realizing now more than ever that sometimes even when you think people have the best intentions for you, that might not be the case. And all I have right now is my YouTube channel and my name to protect. And if I had kept quiet about this, people would have continued that narrative, because now I didn't watch any of those episodes. I didn't watch them, and I have no intention of watching them. But I have a very good feeling that, I have a very strong feeling that those episodes are going to be designed to have one sort of chaotic person, and that person's going to be me. And I am chaotic naturally. But this one, nah. That's pretty much what happened, guys, and I don't want to talk about this again, and I won't. So take this video, and when watching the other episodes and watching other people's diary sessions, they know like everybody's side of the story. And yeah, I think for the first time in a long time, I found a group of friends and people in my space where we understand each other, where there's no making someone look like this, whatever. Because guys, I've been in a group of people, like for example, the Real Housemates, and we've never had these kinds of, okay, but then again, the thing about it is, and it's such a sad realization that there are people who are going to uplift you, and there are people who are going to tear you down, whether you like it or not. And you're going to see different parts of yourself in different people. And in being in a group of friends where I try to build those relationships in certain people, like maybe YouTubers and stuff, and didn't see that materializing, because at the end of it all boils down to a competition thing. And deep down, do we really like each other, or are we just using each other to get to another place in life? And then I became friends with different types of people, like the housemaids. And I've never felt a friendship that has been stronger and more affirming. Like, I don't think I've ever been around a group of people that make me feel that much better about myself. And I've seen my subscribers mention how when I'm with them, it's so different. Like, I wish I could describe it without trying to discredit my other friendships, but it's just the realization that I'm at now, that people come into your life for a season, for a reason, whatever the case may be, but you don't want to be in any space where you feel like you're being degraded, where you feel like, I don't know. And that's how I feel in this moment, that I was made the antagonist, and real parts of the story are not being told. And now, more than anything, I hate the fact that I have to sit here and defend myself and tell the whole truth and potentially ruin the upcoming episodes, because now I have to tell what happened, and now I have to get my word out there so that people don't say, oh yeah, he's so mean, oh she's so this, oh she's so that. And now you're just like, damn nigga, I don't want to be in spaces like that anymore. I don't want to be in spaces where people would put me out there to burn like that and then say, but it's reality. And those are people I'm calling my friends. Nah, I'm not moving like that anymore. So I'm not touching on this anymore. I'm not going to speak on it. I've said my piece, I've said my part, and I'm good. So yeah, guys, sharp.